we're part of this big collective thing, or this big cultural movement. Like Roblox is huge. I'm like scared to make changes like that now. The goal for me is I want to make a game that, you know, has universal appeal.
This is Cracky4, but you might know him better as the creator of 99 Nights in the Forest, one of the top played games on Roblox right now. What you're about to see is the full interview I had with him, where I asked him about his history as a Roblox developer, how he made 99 Nights in the Forest, as well as plans for the future of his career. This video is a little different from my usual stuff, but I had a lot of fun doing this interview, and I hope it'll change someone's perspective on what developing a top Roblox game truly means. Enjoy. Hello?
Yo.
Yo. Can you hear me?
I can. I could hear myself.
Right.
Well.
I'm trying to adjust that right now. Hold on. A little audio troubleshooting later. I also introduce myself just so that he's familiar with who he's talking with. With that out of the way though, we start the interview. So, some of the viewers watching might not be entirely familiar with who you are. Could you introduce yourself as well, as if you're willing to, as if you're like talking to someone who doesn't know you at all?
Yeah. So, oh man, it's so much more nerve-wracking now that we've actually started the interview, and I'm imagining people listening to this. Before this, it was just like a conversation. Now it feels like an interview. So I got to try to like snap out of
Right. Yeah.
But Cracky4 on Roblox. So I've been doing this for over a decade, making games. I've been playing Roblox a lot longer than that though. Yeah, I'm most well known for 99 Nights in the Forest, that hopefully as of right now is the #1 game. I don't know when this is scheduled to be released. But Plants vs. Brainrots might be ahead of us by that time, which would be devastating. And I also made Breakin, the Breakin story series, for those of you who have been playing a bit longer. And for those of you who have been playing even longer, I've also made Mall Tycoon. I also made Icebreaker, was a big game back in 2018, 2019. And then if you're really old, then I also made Defenders of Roblox back in 2014, 2015. So many top 10 games over the years, but most people won't remember the old ones.
Yeah, but you have kind of ruled over many eras of Roblox, which is very, very cool. So yeah, before we start talking about 99 Nights in the Forest, because obviously a lot of people want to hear that, I'd like to first, ask you some questions about your earlier development career and just overall, how it's been over the years. So what should I know about your early development years to get a better understanding of who you are?
Sure. So I started making games in 2014 so actually how I began was making thumbnails for front page Roblox games. And back then the front page would mean, you had like 600 people in your game. It wasn't hard. And then one of my good friends, Cody, he convinced me he sensed that I was a creative person who played a lot of Roblox, and he sort of convinced me to try learning to program and making games. So I made a couple of games back in the 2014, 2015 period. And both of them got to the top 10 of Roblox back then, but actually they both got to #1. But back then getting to #1 was very, very easy.
Right.
So yeah, I guess I was just like always a passionate player of Roblox, and then I transitioned into sort of making games that I would want to play and that my friends would want to play on the platform, and found that I had a knack for it, and that it was something that I really enjoyed doing, and it sort of became an obsession over the years. And now I'm doing it full time, obviously. Yeah,
damn. So you said you learned programming. I'm sure there are going to be lots of young aspiring developers watching this, and they'd like to know if you have any tips for that, because I also have to learn a bit of programming for my high school and for my subjects and stuff. Do you have any overall advice?
Sure. I think you guys are so lucky if you're learning to program now because of ChatGPT and that sort of stuff.
Right, yeah.
So you can use it as like a sounding board. Like when I started, I had the Roblox wiki. They had like a sort of intro to programming guide, and I would print out the pages and I would like read the physical pages, and I would just like take them and read them like a book. And that's sort of how I learned to program. And also there was this like old place stealing exploit back in the day. This was back in like 2014. And so people had stolen a lot of popular games and they were just uploaded as free models everywhere. And I would, insert the free model into my game and I would just read all the code of all these popular games as a resource. Now you don't have to do that sort of thing. So there's so many good resources out there. I'm going to talk about Roblox lore specifically, not programming as a whole. But the Roblox Developer Hub has all these tutorials, and then there's like YouTube is an incredible resource. So just sort of watching through YouTube tutorials, and then if you were to get stuck, what I used to do is if I got stuck on the wiki, I would then switch to YouTube and have someone explain it. And if I got stuck there, I would switch to another YouTuber. And if I got stuck again, I would just ask a friend who was a good programmer. Nowadays, if you've got no friends, if you're a loner, you can just talk to ChatGPT, and like ChatGPT will do the trick.
No, but you're totally right. You're totally right in that regard.
Sure. I would say if you're a person listening to this and you want to make games that you're excited about, creating your own like big top 10 game one day, like I would say programming is not essential, but close to essential. Like I would highly encourage you to program. I'm not a good programmer. I'm a terrible programmer, and that's why I work with Forex, my teammate, who's brilliant. I can program though, and you look through all of the top 10 games on the platform, and like all of them are made by people who can program. So that's why I would like highly encourage you to at least like understand programming and like know how to. You don't have to be brilliant at it. You just have to like know how to get by and to construct your own games in the early days. It's an incredibly important skill, and yeah, I just like highly encourage people to try to figure that out. And it's so much fun to be able to construct your own games from scratch without having to hire an expert or stuff, especially in the early days. It's like very, very essential, I would say.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like you said, you love making games. Like, is there really like a particular reason for that you could tell me, or is it just like, I don't know, it's just your passion and that's kind of become your job now?
Yeah, I think I'm a very creative person, and I think that Roblox has become an obsession for me. Like I think back in high school it was sort of like a hobby that I took to, but now I am like sort of obsessive. Like I play a lot of Roblox, even as an adult. I'm 27 now, and I'm just like fascinated by the platform. I was like a big fan of Dandy's World. I played like a lot of Dandy's World.
Damn.
I played a lot of Dead Rails. I played a lot of Bee Swarm. There's games that I genuinely play and I'm fans of, and I watch YouTube on a lot of games. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. The platform is just like, it's so cool. Like it's at the forefront of gaming right now. Like the games are hitting 25 million players yesterday was the new CCU record. Like this is where it's happening, and we're amongst it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think the creativity on Roblox is so cool. I think just the range of games, all the different audiences that the games are for, I think is awesome. I think just like the lineage of Roblox games, like looking back to when I first started playing to now, like there's just so many over the history of Roblox. There's just been so many like incredible, unique experiences, and I'm just so excited by like what is going to come next on Roblox. Hopefully not more brain rot, but whatever it will be, I'm excited.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate brain rot.
So do you see any other like universe where you'd have a different passion or occupation or anything?
Yeah, I think like I could have easily fallen into some other sort of creative industry, whether that would be, like you mentioned off interview that you're getting into music, or you are like a musician. And I think that if maybe I'd stumbled into some sort of like music software before I stumbled into Roblox Studio, maybe that would have been the thing I ended up doing. So I think like creative people, like probably a lot of your audience are very creative people. It's like whatever you sort of stumble into, that sort of becomes whatever becomes your first obsession, that might be what you end up doing forever. So Roblox is like a very like lucky one to have stumbled into, because there's just such a range of skills required to do it, and there's just so the bar for what you can achieve is so high. So yeah, it's like I'm very grateful that that was the one that I sort of ended up doing. But it could have just as easily been music or art or whatever sort of like creative pursuit.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with you on this, because I've also, like, because I'm very obsessed with video editing. It's like my absolute passion, and it's literally the same thing you said. I just stumbled across like editing software first, and I just kind of stuck with that. But now my second thing has also become music.
Of course, like video editing is that's obviously like the thing you're the best at. I remember your Golden Age video. You would do these. You'd have like a cut. You'd have a joke, and then it would cut to another joke, and then it would cut to like two guys in the cinema watching your video on the screen, and then there'd be a third joke. And it's like the amount of layers and the amount of like thought that went into that script, and like how seamlessly the jokes all ran into each other. I was like, man, this guy's got the gift for sure.
Yeah. I really I'm looking forward to making another video like that. Anyway, you mentioned that do you watch YouTube a lot? Because like you've reached out to me, right? You've complimented my Golden Age video, and I found that so cool, because I wasn't expecting for someone like you to see it, and just overall for so many people to see it. So now that's kind of made me curious, like do you watch a lot of YouTube? Because you've kind of been like, the way you've been describing it seems like you do. So I want to know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of videos on my games, although it can be hard, because I think what succeeds on YouTube is to be either very strongly for something or very strongly against something.
Right.
So sometimes there are videos on my game where it's in their best interest to sort of be like mean about it, or to critique in a way that is almost like quite mean spirited, and so sometimes it can wear me down watching those sorts of videos. But what I really enjoy are like video essays that sort of delve into Roblox. Yeah. And I just pulled up your channel, and your last 6 videos, I've watched all of them, so it probably was a while ago, but yeah, definitely, like, I keep up with your content, and just anyone who's sort of making interesting video essays on the platform, or I can learn about sort of niches in Roblox that maybe I'm not. Like when people will make a video describing like the downfall of fish, and then what am I looking for, the revival of fish. That's, I don't have time to play fish and to work out what's going on there, but if I can watch a video on it, that's excellent. But yeah, your Golden Age one specifically, I'll say this very quickly. I mentioned this prior to the interview, but I loved the optimism of that video, because I think it's easy to make a video that's very negative and sort of like talking down on things and making things seem like, this is the end, but that was a refreshing change of pace, where you were sort of saying like, hold on guys, like there's a lot of cool things happening on Roblox right now, and let's like take a moment to bask in that for a little bit. And I feel the same way as you. And I've been on the platform a long time, and I'm a bit older, so my attitude's maybe a bit different, but I'm like very excited about the state of Roblox right now. And I'm going to ramble for 1 second, but even today, sort of, these people were saying on, there's like a bit of discourse on Twitter about how people miss like simulators, and how now we're just stuck with brain rot, and brain rot's like the new trend, and it's like this horrible thing. And Cracky4 made a post sort of being like, his hot take is that brain rot is actually, it's a cool genre. And then he's getting a lot of hate for that. But I think, like, I don't know if I agree with him completely, but what I do know is I've been on the platform a long time, and simulators were universally hated when they were popular, and then before that, tycoons were universally hated when they were popular. So whatever the thing is of that time that fills that niche, everyone hates it, and that's fine. But brain rot is like, it's the latest thing, and and it's so much more engaging than like the old tycoons of their day, like, which was just like, you're essentially just putting a jigsaw puzzle together by stepping on buttons and waiting for money to go up. Like at least these have like some sort of complexity to them. And I think people right now, you can't appreciate that these games, while they look like slop, or and there's like a million of them that are all very similar, they are, they're something new. There's more to them than maybe what meets the eye. And I think one day the next thing will come along and people will say, like, oh, remember brain rot games? Like, at least those were better than this. I don't know. That's just my perspective, but feel free to hate on brain rot. I don't care if you hate on it.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with this, honestly. I mean, I definitely made that video purely because of how much like negativity I had seen about Roblox in general. And the thing is, after I made that video, obviously I was met with like just as much positivity, but also just as much negativity as well, just as much backlash, people being like, oh my god, no, this is not the new golden age. The new golden age was years ago, like and stuff like that. There's not a golden age because the most popular games are this and that and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, like that video, I literally say like, okay, sure, there's stuff on the front page, whatever, but like there's still cool things being made all the goddamn time. And that's a message that I feel like kind of flew over some people's heads, but that's not their fault.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, obviously, and there's a lot of nostalgia wrapped up in these things. Like for me, my fondest memories of Roblox were back when I was a kid playing, back in like 2013 or whatever. But if I had you play the 2013 games that I used to play, and then play whatever's on the front page now, even if it's games that you don't care about, like you'd be like, man, 2013 is like, it's so like primitive. I'm in the dark ages. Like, what is going on?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's easy to look back with rose-tinted glasses, but the amount of people making games now is just like so many magnitudes higher than it was even a few years ago. And it's just like it's a mathematical equation. Like with more people making games, there's a similar proportion of talented people making games. There's just going to be more amazing games. And I don't know, just I think like people are going to refer to this as the golden age. It's just going to take a few years, I think. And we don't realize we're in it, I think. But in a few years, people are going to look back and they'll realize that this was it. This is awesome.
Yeah. So like adding on to that question of like you watching YouTube, I obviously also watch YouTube a lot. It's like, it's what makes my job fun. It's kind of what I have to do. Well, I don't really consider it a job at the moment, but I consume YouTube more than anything else. Which I want to ask you, like, do you also play Roblox games a lot nowadays, or are you just more like focused on the development side? Do you have time to play Roblox games?
Less time to play since 99 Nights is blowing up. I struggle to find time for much at all. I normally watch YouTube videos on games, but it used to be that I would sort of monitor the trending games, and any game that was up and coming, I would be on top of. But now I only play games if they reach sort of like the top 50 or something, or they look really compelling. And then beyond that, I just sort of watch a lot of YouTube on games. But historically, I'd say more than most developers, I have played a lot of Roblox. Like if I see anything that seems different, I will give it a chance and sort of see if I can find what makes it compelling, what about it that players are drawn towards.
So going back in the past now a little bit about Break-In, how was that like when that game exploded in popularity? It was like your first like real big game, right, at the time?
Yeah, it was like a step above everything else, but that was surreal. I remember it happened, I think it was just before like COVID, so it was at like this very strange time where it blew up. And Roblox as a platform blew up at that time because everyone was indoors with nothing to do. But and so I just remember I didn't have a name for the game yet. It was called Coming Soon, and the game had no sound effects, so it was just sort of like a test place. And then it was always a good sign back in the day where I'd have sort of like 15 people testing, and I come back the next day and like 3 of them stuck around and they're back playing again. And then the next day it would be like, there'd be 20 people, and then there'd be 50 people. And then one day, this game coming soon, and it had no game icon, it had no sound effects. It had just thousands of people playing it, and it wasn't even complete yet. And I was like, oh man, I have like something incredible on my hands here. And so I put the sound effects in. I was just working relentlessly at that point, because it's like desperately trying to make this thing happen. So I was just like not sleeping or anything. And then I put the game icon up, I made the name, I finished off all the bugs, finished off fixing the bugs. And then, it got to number 2 on the platform at the time, which was like huge, because not many games did that. And it, it was like surreal, that sort of thing. Was surreal.
So wait, I actually do not know this. Did it get any like awards by Roblox?
It did not even get nominated for an award. No recognition. No, I got nothing. And
damn.
And I complained to them, because we got some award nominations this year. So I talked to the team who runs everything, and I think I don't know, they felt a bit sorry for me. So, but now we've got some awards. We won a couple of innovation awards. We won Best Adventure Game and Best Horror Game, which was awesome. And we almost won Best Creative Direction, but we got beaten by Stellar Brain Rot, one of the most creative games on the platform. So really sad about that one. But
so okay, actually, this is nice you brought this up. I was gonna ask this later, but how do you and your team feel about winning those 2 awards, and just how does that feel?
For me, I really care about the accolades, and I think the big reason for me, like continuing to work hard and do what I do, is to be celebrated and to have people recognize me as like a good game designer. And my 2 teammates, I think, I don't know for sure, but I'd say they're in the same boat, and all of us feel just so happy about it. Like we are so thrilled to be recognized, and for people to appreciate the work that we've put in on this game. My teammates, Forex and Viridial, we're a team of 3 that works on the game, and we're all like, they're my best friends, and like we all live together, and so we're all just like thrilled that to receive recognition, and for people to be able to point to our game and say like, these guys did a great job. It means a lot.
Damn. Well, on a similar note, and this is kind of a curiosity of mine, if anything, but like, what was RDC like? Because I've been thinking I really want to go next year, and I've only heard pretty positive stories about it for the most part. And you were also invited on stage at the awards show, and so like, how was that overall experience? That like, I don't know, week, I don't know how long it is. It's like a few days, I think. RDC, how was that like?
Yeah, I think it's 2 days of conference, and then sort of people come for a third. But you should definitely go. Like, it's a lot of fun. It's very motivating as well. And if you do end up going, definitely flick me a message so that we can hang out a bit. But yeah, it's just a very motivating time. I think you get to meet a lot of interesting people who are all ambitious, and they're creative, and they're working on all their different, whatever their thing might be, whether that's YouTube, or they're some aspect of Roblox development. If you have friends that you know online but you don't get to see in person very often, that's like a big reason I love it.
Right, yeah.
Getting to sort of catch up with because I'm from New Zealand, so getting to see all my American friends is like, I only get to see them once a year typically, so that's great. This year my RDC was very busy. It was for my whole team, because we had the number 1 game going into it, so there were just a lot of meetings with various like Roblox teams or like brands or whatever it might be, and so I was rushed around quite a bit. I didn't get a chance to hang out with my friends as much as I'd like, but it was just great. It's always great. It's inspiring, like David, the CEO, gets up there and he sort of, he pitches what they're working on and what their vision is and things, and when you're in there, you're like, man, we're all sort of like, we're part of this big collective thing, or this big cultural movement. Like, Roblox is huge, and it feels like you're really part of this massive, this massive cultural movement. I'm repeating myself, but yeah, like, it's hard to describe, but it's a very inspiring place. I'd say.
That sounds very nice. All right, so before we move on to 99 Nights in the Forest and talking about that game for a bit, I want to ask you this. What would you say is, one of your favorite Roblox games of all time? Or like, up there, just on the list of like, one of the best things or one of your most favorite things you've seen come from this platform?
That's a tough question. I should have an answer for best Roblox game probably, but like more recently, Dandy's World and Dead Rails, they've been my favorites for this particular year. Historically, I have been a big fan of games like Bee Swarm Simulator and like Build a Boat for Treasure, are two like more classic games that I think
those are pretty good.
Are just like games I've had a lot of fun on. I think in terms of like the best Roblox games ever, I love Block Tales, which you worked on. Like Block Tales is artistically interesting. It's so creative. It oozes creativity. I love that it pays tribute to classic Roblox in a lot of ways. And so I love Block Tales, and I love Work at a Pizza Place. I would describe as, maybe the best Roblox game ever. And I can explain that one further, but I just think that game is like embodies what Roblox is as a platform. And I think it's, the fact the other day it was on 50,000 players. The game is, let me do the math, 17 years old. Like, you guys don't appreciate that, but like,
damn,
my game is going to be gone and probably in a few months' time. But Work at a Pizza Place it's just incredible, the longevity, and it's a brilliant game. So,
all right, so now let's talk about 99 Nights in the Forest. So you have made with this group of developers, with your friends, you've made more games. You've made Parkour Tower and Mall Tycoon. Admittedly, I haven't played these. I don't know if they've performed well. Why did you decide to eventually make 99 Nights in the Forest? Because I feel like these games, they're all very different from each other. They don't really follow a specific theme. So it's just like, why did you decide to make this one, after all of those?
I'll answer. I'll respond first to the other two games. So, yeah, this is our third time. We're all very close friends from New Zealand, and Parkour Tower was a Tower of Hell rendition of it. It didn't do well. And then Mall Tycoon it actually did get to the top 10 on Roblox, and it's got a few 100 million plays. So that, if you were around back in 2021, you'll probably know Mall Tycoon. It was quite popular for a period. It wasn't so big you would not be able to miss it. Like, it just had a little moment for a month or so. What's your favorite game, out of curiosity?
My favorite game, just on Roblox?
Yeah, all time favorite. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I don't know. This is also a tough question because, like you said, like I don't know. There are a lot of answers I could give to this, and I feel like I don't really have a singular favorite game, but I do have a lot of games that I really like. I think one of my favorites has to be Doors. Huge fan of that. Answer. Made like a bazillion videos glazing it. I don't know, there's something about Doors that captivated me at the time because the art style is so clean and it just looks so high quality. It just feels so nice to play. And that game just has a special place in my heart. I'm still a fan. I still tune into like every new update if they add content, if they add new stuff. So that would be one of my recent favorites, I guess. Also Block Tales, but I mean at this point it's kind of biased. I was a huge fan of Block Tales before I got onto the team, so it was also kind of like a dream come true when I did become part of the Block Tales team.
I bet, yeah.
Another game which is also made by the same general group of people who made Block Tales is Arsenal. I was a big Arsenal player back in the day, so game. I have some attachment to that game.
Yeah, I mean, good choices, yeah. When Doors released, it was like during the whole Backrooms movement. That was like the big thing at the time. And I think like Doors, you're in this like liminal what you're in the hotel. It's
Right,
a hotel,
yeah.
isn't it? So, and the rain is like beating at the windows, and they have the custom soundtrack, and it transports you to this very liminal world, which I
The
think
sound
really
design is-
elevated the whole the sound design is incredible in that game. And man, and it looks like, for the time, people might not remember this, you probably do, but games did not look that pretty. Like now there's
No.
pressure and there's other like these gorgeous games, but Doors was the first game that you look at and you're like, damn, is that Roblox? Like, no way is that Roblox.
Yeah.
Like, they took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I remember it, like Doors like blew up and people were like talking about it, like, oh my god, is this Roblox? This looks crazy. Everybody was playing that game.
And it's a great game. It's well designed, like good game design, not just a pretty game.
Yeah. So, for how long has 99 Nights been in production before it was eventually published? Like, for how long did this idea exist?
We worked on it for maybe 3 or 4 months, but that was interrupted by Forex. He went overseas for a little bit, so probably about 3 months of work, which is most of my games have been around the 3 to 4 month mark. And to maybe to answer your question before about sort of like how the idea came to be, I'll just answer that briefly. But it was a combination of this game called Survive a Week in the Woods, which was this little like forest survival game.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's by a guy called Unequip, and I thought it was a cool game. And that sort of inspired us. We're like, oh, we could maybe like do our own game in a forest, but we want to make it our own thing and sort of be a bit larger in scale and things like that. But that also meshed with Dead Rails. I played a lot of Dead Rails, so that was a huge influence on the game.
Right, yeah, the sack mechanics.
Sack mechanic is directly taken from Dead Rails. Like that was their innovation. They themselves are based on a game called Dusty Trip, and they sort of like transformed that into its own thing. And then there was this genre of game at the time where it was based on like Mr. Beast videos called like Survive 100 Days in a Bunker or Survive 100 Days in a School, and they were kind of like low effort, low quality games. But I thought maybe there's something to that. Like maybe this type of genre clearly is appealing to people. So
right.
I kind of like started there, and I was like, what would be a cool setting? We could do like a bunker, we could do this or that. And eventually I was like, oh, I think a forest would be like a cool place to do it. And then I went with 99 instead of 100 because
why?
I think it had a bit of a ring to it. I don't know. I can't remember why. And then it used to be called 99 Days in a Forest. But then our friend was like, you should change it to nights. And we're like, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to point this out, but I feel like the art style of 99 Nights specifically kind of reminds me of older Roblox games. With like, there are a few meshes here and there, but most of the enemies and the builds are made with parts. Was there anything that influenced this decision? Or was that, just you just wanted to make it that way?
Yeah, so oh man, I could go in depth on this. But I'll.
You can. I mean, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk on this for a bit because I think it's interesting, and I think like maybe this will sort of give players a new perspective. A big criticism that our game gets is that like the graphics are bad. That's like a very consistent criticism.
I think it gives me a bit of nostalgia whenever I play it, so I don't think it's that bad.
It's good. I'm glad you get nostalgia. Yeah, I felt the same about Dead Rails when I played. I felt because that was they sort of did the similar art style, and then we just like took that and did our own thing. But you look at any of the top Roblox games right now, and I've got the page pulled up. We've got 99 Nights, and there's like a few brain rot games. There's Brookhaven, and then there's Blox Fruit. So those are the top 6. And all of those games have super simple art styles. So the brain rot games have stud assets.
Yeah.
And then Brookhaven has sort of similar to us. Like it's very like low quality, like simple, kind of like not very saturated. Blox Fruit's incredibly simple, like very low detail. Obviously, they have incredible particle effects and that sort of thing when you get to the late game. But if you jump in Blox Fruits as a new player, it's like incredibly simple, and and looks just like very, I would say, dated, but so does our game, and so it obviously works. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is a thing that we aspired to, rather than, you know, trying to be something more like Doors or Pressure, these beautiful games. So for one, I think there's a performance a performance consideration. So these simple games, they run on all devices. They aren't overly complicated, and so you can reach a wider audience. So that's one thing. But then the second thing, which I think is more underrated, is that I think having the very simple art style means things are just organically more clear. And I'm a gameplay guy. Like, that's my primary thing. I am fascinated by game design. I want to craft a very meticulous sequence of gameplay, and I think we accomplished that with our game. In fact, the numbers speak to that. But in order to accomplish that, there is a lot of visual stimulation and visual feedback that games can have that sort of distract the player from the gameplay, and they can overwhelm the player. And it means you're not allocated as much of their attention to create good game design. And so by stripping everything back and having it very sort of bare bones and simple and this old art style, I think it frees up the game to just be easier to understand for players, because there's less for them to pay attention to, and they can sort of focus on other aspects of the game more. And I'll caveat that by saying, you know, Doors and Pressure are, I'll use Doors as an example, is like a beautiful game, but it also is very clear what you have to do. And so you can accomplish both. You can have a gorgeous game, and you can have, you know, brilliant intuitive game design. But for our game, we have a big open world map, and it would have been I don't know. It's a lot easier for like their little like sort of inclusive game. And even now in their latest chapter, it's the garden. You know, it's not as simple and clean as it used to be in the hotel when you were just in a room, you know, and there's only so much, you know, you can do with a room. Now it's like things are a bit crazier. I still think they did a great job in chapter 3 though, just for the record. I think it was great.
Oh, absolutely. Going on a little side tangent here with Doors, they definitely have very good game design moments, because like, for example, you just have like, it teaches you about crouching in the game very simply. In the hotel, you have to crouch to get the key to unlock the door. So you already learned like the two pretty important things, crouching and opening doors with keys, just straight off the bat. Very simple. It doesn't like, you know, point an arrow to the key. It doesn't like, it just tells you C to crouch, that's it. But very simple. And then in the mines, they do something similar, which I found really, really cool. And that is, in the mines, you have to like open some like gates with generators, and you have to like put fuses in the generators. But there's also like mine carts, and so they put you in this big room with the generator in the front, and also just a mine cart to push around, and you can like, you know, you interact with it obviously out of curiosity, and then boom, you know how the mine carts work, and it's like so smart. Without like doing much. It doesn't tell you, oh, push the minecart to see what it does. It's just like intuitive.
No, they do a great job of sort of letting you figure it out yourself, and having everything be emergent rather than explained to you. They do great. And there's a lot of other things I could point to in Doors where I think they did an exceptional job with gameplay stuff. But yeah, it would be all here all day.
We'll be talking about Doors. All right. So when you were making 99 Nights, did you have any doubts about it? Like, did you think, oh, people might not like this, people might not play it? Or did you have any doubts about that?
Okay, I did not think the game would do anything more than like 20,000 CCUs. I thought that was our peak. And the reason for that is because there was no precedent for this sort of game doing well on Roblox. Like, there's no games like our game on Roblox, except for Survival Week in the Woods by Unequip. So that was the only thing we had to go off. And our game, you know, despite looking visually a little bit similar to that, is actually a very, very different game. And so that game only peaked at like maybe 4,000 players or so, maybe less. I'm not sure what it peaked at, but so there was no precedent for this particular style of game to do well. We also had a bit of negative feedback very early on. Like, we had friends come in and play, and they were sort of like, they thought, like it's fine, but like, it wasn't until later where what we discovered is that I would get my friends to play and they would play solo and I'd watch them and they'd get bored and they'd leave and they'd say, the game's fine. But then at one point we started bringing in friends as a group. So we'd have like 3 people play at the same time and they would just play for hours and they would become addicted. And I think that's the key is by yourself, people lose interest and but when you're with a team and you're, one person's chopping trees and one person's getting food and, you're assigning roles and you're looking out for each other, you're reviving each other, you're staying safe by the fire together and you're beating the boss, then I think it really elevates the game. And it wasn't until people started playing together and when I realized like, oh, maybe we have something amazing on our hands here. Like people are getting like straight up addicted to this.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because I, for my video, I obviously had to play it. I also had to play it for footage, and I decided to bring a couple of friends, and yeah, we had a blast, obviously. And then the next day, they were all like, "Oh, dude, are we playing 99 Nights again? That shit is low-key addicting." And I was like, "Oh man."
I appreciate that.
That was really funny to see.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so glad your friends and you enjoyed it. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I will say I've played a lot of the popular games and I've enjoyed some a little less and some a little more. And this is definitely better. This is definitely on the good side. It's not something I dislike. I genuinely do like what you and your team have done with the game. I think it's really nice. And, I do hope you guys pull through and with more content. I'm sure you have a roadmap for that. Do you have a roadmap for that? For like what you plan on adding?
We have we've got this huge spreadsheet of things we want to add, and then every week, typically today actually, we go through and we pick what we're going to do for next week, and we sort of prioritize them roughly. But yeah, yesterday we did meteors, so we did like a new event, and then next week, we'll have to work out what we're doing. But yeah, we do have a roadmap, a rough roadmap. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good, because I feel like right now, as it stands, it is a very nice game. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun. But at the same time, I feel like it could use even more. Just more juice. To really bring it back home. I fil like that's.
We'll do the juice update.
Yeah.
We'll get that in. If you have any I'm always open to ideas and
suggestions
and feedback and things like that.
Honestly, right now I wouldn't necessarily have I don't think I'd have anything specific I'd want to see being added in the game.
What you want, it sounds like, is just for us to keep adding things and fleshing out the world.
Yeah, just fleshing it out. I feel like there's also that thing of getting past 99 nights. There's really not much else left to do after that.
Yeah.
So that's also something to consider. Although I've gotten the fucking 500 days achievement with my friends.
Okay, damn. Okay, you guys played. You really played.
Yeah, we
That's
played.
awesome.
Dude, we played so much. Insane.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. Oh, let me address that real quick because I think I hope your audience will be interested in sort of learning what our process is like on our end. So Roblox as a platform moves very quickly. So you have to be fast with the creation of games and the release of games. So when we released 99 Nights in the Forest, it was I would say the first 20 minutes of gameplay are meticulously planned and designed. And then everything past that, we left open-ended. So there was almost no content really planned for anything past that. We just wanted to get players into the game, get them absorbed into the world. And then beyond that, we sort of we'll leave that up to the future versions of ourselves to figure out. So now that the game is blown up, now we're okay, we have this middle, the mid game and the late game are not, they're a little too empty. And they're not as clinically designed as the early game. So now we have to sort of now we're trying to fill that in. And yesterday we did the Meteor event. So that's a mid-game challenge update. Before that we did the Volcanic Biome. That's a mid-game challenge thing. And so we are slowly filling that in. But obviously there's only so many hours in the week. So we're doing as much as we can, but these things take time. But regardless of that, the other element to this that I want to, you might find this interesting, your audience might find this interesting, is if you go to 99 Nights and you go to our badges on the game and you scroll down to not even the 500-day one, but just the 100-day one, only 1% of players get that badge. So if we, so here's this is like the difficult part of this.
You're right.
We have a game, we have to update it weekly. We have to keep players engaged. We have to keep adding new content. The 100-day mark is actually not very commonly achieved. Like it's, and so we have to sort of prioritize earlier updates to reach as many players as possible and to give as many players new stuff as possible. And it means we've sort of had to put the late game stuff at a lower tier of priority. Not to say that, I mean, I want to do late game, we all want to do, and we will do it 100%, but like, it's just a matter of when are we going to have, sorry, this is what I should say, is I think we're building to late game. So right now we're doing a lot of mid-game content, and then we're going to move to like mid-late game content, and then we're going to move to late game content, and then really late game content. So we're sort of building from the start to the back so that we can satisfy as many players as we can at each step. Does that sort of make sense?
Oh, yeah. That is actually understandable, honestly. Okay, so about the game itself, I've had moments where, you know, sometimes it kind of destroyed me. Admittedly, it's a little trial and error game. Do you think the game right now is like too hard, too easy? Have you had like issues with balancing it out or stuff like that? The difficulty?
Dude, balancing on Roblox is a nightmare. Like, because I want 4-year-olds to be able to play this game with their parents, and they do. I've parents, you know, being like, me and my son play your game. He loves, you know, and there is nothing cooler than that to me. But then I have like you. I don't know how old you are, but you're like obviously about to start college. But
I'm 17.
Yeah, 17. So like, I want everyone from the ages 4 to 17 to be able to enjoy this game, and that's like really hard to pull off to make a game that appeals to everyone. And so it is a challenge, but we kind of have, like, and that's why we're the game, you know, we're on double the number 2 games player base right now, and that is because, you know, girls love our game, boys love the game, people who are, you know, very young kids love the game, but also adults. You know, a kid can play, a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old can play with their, you know, their 30-year-old parent, and both parties can enjoy it. And that, like, that is my goal. Like, while some people, you know, will value, other developers might value, you know, making a really beautiful game or making like something that's very challenging and can only be played by like players like you. My goal is to create something, and it's a goal I share with my team. We want to create something that can be enjoyed universally and appeals to, you know, as many people as possible, and just nails that, you know, and I want everyone to be able to enjoy it with each other, and just for it to be like universally appreciated, and I'm so like glad to have been able to do that and to actually like realize that goal with this game. But how we did it, if I can go in depth, is optional difficulty. So the fire is obviously a safe zone, so nothing can get you. So if you're like a young kid, you know, or a new player or something, you can chop trees, you can do things near the base, and you're relatively safe. Whereas like for someone like yourself, like I imagine nighttime and the deer, you were not threatened by them at all, would be my guess, right?
No.
And when I play, I'm the same. I don't go to the campfire. I don't care. I don't need the safety. Like, I'm just out and about all the time. So for somebody like you or like myself, then that's when we introduce things like the volcanic biome had like the cultist king, who you can summon, and then he's like a little mini boss fight you can do in order to get rare loot. And then we have like the winter temple in the ice biome. We have the frog temple when the frog event happens. Like, there are all these sort of like little side quests you can do, which are optional. You don't have to do them, and no kid is ever going to be able to complete them. The content is way out of scope for them. But for, you know, like a teenager or something, or an adult, that's like a cool piece of like optional difficulty they can do. You know, you can go to the workshop and you can craft like the really overpowered helmet or something. Like, there's all these like late game, or not late game, but mid game things you can do, which is sort of extra content, which is optional.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good approach to that. Like, it genuinely, it's very smart. Honestly, Good job. Yeah, I just want to point it out. It's very well thought out. In this part of the video, I asked him about the mild backlash the game was facing due to the pretty difficult obtainability of classes at the time. However, since then, more ways to get gems have been added. I will show you this part of his response.
I understand, but I just want to make it clear that there is no nefarious thing going on where we're oh, how do we give them as little gems as possible to
right.
You know, it's actually far more stupid than that, where we just we're so busy that we're trying to figure out a good way to, I don't know, give players more gems without killing the economy or making it so really good players have a million gems and really bad players don't have enough. So we're just trying to figure it out. But yeah, the money thing, I don't know, our game really is is not super well monetized or anything. I think it's a sensible level for us to run our company and everything. But yeah, I mean, that's right. Something. No, I mean, I see the feedback, and I don't know. I want to make it clear that I agree, and I think we'll need to talk about it more.
It's not over monetized, but that's just a thing. People like nitpicking. Is that
I used to get called greedy on Break-In for my monetization on that, and I think in Break-In there's only 5 things you can buy on it. The thing is so Break-In is so under-monetized almost to a fault, where it's you look at it and you're is this guy stupid? Why is he not selling more stuff? So it's people have always, I don't know, it's a thing on Roblox, and I think it's important that people are aware of what's it called, evil monetization methods and stuff, and that the community calls it out. But one thing I'm very proud of with our game is that I think we've been very sensible, and I think that one aspect I'm proud of is that in the actual game, I have to be careful what I say because we might change this, but as of right now, the actual game of 99 Nights in the Forest, there's almost nothing you can buy except for reviving. I think reviving is the only thing you can buy with Roblox.
I was gonna say
the actual game.
It isn't pay to win, I guess. I think is what you want to say.
There's little aspects of it, but nothing that isn't just standard for Roblox. And also, dude, if we remove reviving, we would get crucified. People would hate that. So it would just be a lose-lose for every single person. But yeah, obviously we wouldn't even consider that. But yeah, that's one thing I'm very proud of is the actual game of 99 Nights. It is just it is a pure game.
It is a game.
It is a game. It is a game.
Yeah. A lot of people complain about the fact that most popular games are not. There's barely gameplay or whatever, but with your game, there is gameplay, and that's kind of what makes it stand out at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of the Roblox community for elevating an actual game to the #1 spot, because I really didn't think we'd be able to make it. I thought that in order to get to #1, you had to sort of make these. What would you call them? Not idle games, but passive games, I suppose. But yeah, no, the #1 game right now is it's something you have to be engaged. You
have to play actively, and it's not you just join it for 5 minutes, then you can leave. You have to also kind of make a bit of time for it, because the average run takes about an hour or two. Oh, actually,
so that's very cool.
Yeah, actually, this reminds me. Have you considered maybe? But again, this would kind of ruin that thing I said about having to make time for the game. Have you considered any sort of maybe saving the game and continuing it at a later date, making save files for different runs?
Yeah, I was just talking about this yesterday, actually, which is funny you bring this up. But it's a thing that's requested a lot is people want to save their bases and things, and that is the hardest technical thing we can do on the game. It would require so much work to get that in.
Oh, that is true.
And so there's a few different elements, but ultimately, I think it's something that we could find a way to do it in a cool way. It'll just be a matter of the right timing and the right implementation. So nothing we're not going to do that anytime soon, but I wonder if one day we'll be able to figure out a way to do that in a cool way. But we're still discussing it, which is the main thing.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about, I mean, we already talked about a little bit of this, but overall, just the future, both of 99 Nights in the Forest and also just you in general, and how's it been like dealing with success? So because this question is going to be a little stupid, I kind of know the answer, but has the success of 99 Nights in the Forest been overwhelming to you and your team? I imagine yes, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh man, where do I start? There's like a lot of things I could say. For one, we have loved it, and I will say that watching, like right now, I'm staring at the games page, and we have 2.8 million people playing, and like that's not a real number to me.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like you see it, but like you can't comprehend.
Right, no, it's
how many people that is.
You can say it and see it, but you can't really understand that. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
And it's not until I like my girlfriend will show me this text that she got from one of the people who she works with, and they'll be like, "Oh, my kids love your boyfriend's game," and it's like this is a real these are real people. Like this is a person that I have 1 degree of removal from, and her kids love my game. And like the other day, 2 days ago actually, I was on a train, and I was wearing like a 99 Nights. We got some custom T-shirts made, and I was wearing it, and this guy is like shoulder to shoulder on the subway, and this guy's like standing next to me, and he doesn't, and he keeps like looking over at me a little bit, and then as he gets off his stop, he's like, "Hey man, like, can I take a picture of your shirt? My kids love your game." And then I was like, "Oh, I made the game." And he was like mind blown. He's like, "You made this?" Like he shook my hand, and he was just like so excited. And he's like, "My kids absolutely love it. They're obsessed with it." And like those moments, it's like, man, this is like a real widespread thing. And to answer your question about how it feels incredible. Like this is like the most amazing feeling to create something that I'm proud of, something that is like really it is a respected game, and like players love it, and other developers have so many of the Roblox developers at RDC were like so complimentary and told me how they play it with their partner or their friends, and it's just like, man, like to have so many people appreciate something that I designed is just like a surreal and like incredible feeling.
Damn. So is it? Because I mean, yeah, it's just you three, but is it really just you three making this for the most part, with a few other contributions from, I imagine, other people, but like just you three?
To start with, it was like me, Forex, and Vertial were like the original 3. Now that we're it's become very stressful to keep up the weekly update cadence. It's a lot of pressure, and we have like a lot of very talented people helping us. That's the beauty of having a popular game, is that I can sort of reach out to the best people on the platform, and so we've got some like incredibly talented guys working with us. So like from the start, we've had like our animator, his name's Dine. I met him at IDC, but he's brilliant, super talented. And then the characters, the ram and the owl, were designed by someone called Supernob123. She's like exceptionally creative and talented, and we've got a series of particle guys who are all helping me out. They're all amazing. Like, just so many other people, mostly for like VFX stuff, or like, we've got an artist, her name's Pal. She's like so hardworking and so creative. So yeah, there's like, we've got like a bunch of very creative, talented people orbiting the core team. I'd say like at its core, like, it's funny because we're all in person together, so it feels like we're in like an office, just the 3 of us, and we're all like grinding on the game. But then, it's mostly me. Like we have these people, and they have sort of become like the extended team in a way, and they're all deeply invested in the game and things like that. So yeah, there is a bit more of a sort of like a team dynamic now than what it was at the start.
Okay. This one is a little more interesting, but obviously, so you've said the success has been incredible and whatnot, but also how have you dealt with it? Because some people in your position, they might see this happening to them and they might think, oh my god, their ego might get really significantly boosted. They might, change as a person. But I feel like you've managed to remain humble in that way. Like, how have you managed to do that? Because some people in your position would definitely brag about this in a way.
Sure. Yeah. No, I got an ego, man. Don't worry. I'm just hiding it. No. But no, I think being a Roblox developer, it's very easy to not develop an ego because people are celebrating your game and they're not celebrating you as much. And
Right.
So you are not the object of people's like admiration. It is the things you create that are, and I think that's a very healthy setup. And I think it's why so many Roblox developers sort of keep their heads screwed on quite well. I'm passionate about the games. I'm not passionate about, I'm not like a hustle culture guy. Like for me, it's all about making the best game I can that appeals to as many people as possible. So like that is what I derive joy from, not from sort of like material things or attention or anything like that. I think it's like not too hard as a Roblox developer to keep your head screwed on when you're not getting much attention in the first place.
Yeah, no, honestly, I can now I was thinking about it because I was like, I'm part of the, I'm also part of Blocktails, and when Demo 4 came out, I was expecting people to like be, oh my god, you're an incredible composer or whatever, but like I didn't really get that many people. I mean, I it's not like, oh my god, I'm so upset people didn't praise me for my work, but I was expecting something else. But then I realized, all right, they care about the game, they care about the song, not necessarily the composer. Which is
there's a lot of I mean, I can hype you up more if you want some of that.
No, it's fine. I'm pretty proud of the songs I've made for the next chapter, and so I think there I might get more praise for it. Okay.
Yeah, the songs you sent me that you had made, as I went down the list, every song I liked more and more. I was like,
they're all pretty thematically so cool. Different, I think.
They're very thematic, very thematic.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed quite the lack of music in 99 Nights in the Forest.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, this is not me trying to say anything, but like, have you considered maybe getting someone to do more music? Because I know there are like a few sounds here and there for like when you're about to get raided by the cultists. There's like that little drum thing, but I think like sometimes it has moments where it feels a little too oddly empty from a sound perspective. And so has that ever like crossed your mind?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I mean, I think the intention was to put music in, but then the game just sort of blew up before we remembered to do it. And then now, it's hard when your game's doing so well and you're like, well, maybe it's doing well because of the lack of music. Like maybe I don't know, maybe the lack of, I don't know. So like I'm like scared to make changes like that now. I think if I was to do anything, I would add like little, like you mentioned, like little bit more like ambient atmosphere around the place, or maybe there's music but only in like isolated parts of the game, like during cutscenes and stuff. We already do that, but like more interesting music. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I don't know. We'll have to think about it.
So, about the future of 99 Nights, will you try to maintain this game for as long as possible? Maybe because I remember earlier you said something about like, oh, it's gonna possibly die off in like 3 or 4 months. Maybe it doesn't, you never know. But will you try to maintain it for however long until you say, eventually falls off or whatever, or will you try to make a new game one day, after the 99 Nights hype has died down?
I love making new games, so that's my favorite part, is designing something from scratch. I hate updating, but this game is actually extremely fun to update because there's just so many things you can put into the forest that you can do whatever you want. And so right now I'm really enjoying updating, and the other guys I hope are also really enjoying updating. Like I think we're, yeah, I think I'm going to update this as long as I'm enjoying it. And right now, I'm feeling like I'm not really slowing down. So we'll see how we go. We're only human though, you know. So maybe one day we'll decide we need a break, or you know, maybe I'll feel like I need to spend more time with family or something like that. And if that happens, then we might update a bit less. But you know, we'll sort of work that out as we go. Right now, we're sort of having fun with it, but
absolutely,
yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we go.
This is definitely a game that is just kind of fun to update or fun to work on, because most of it is RNG, and so I feel like the fact that it's random, like you still know how the game works behind the scenes, let's say, but it is still random, which kind of makes it that much more captivating to like update and test out and just kind of mess around with.
Definitely, yeah.
You mentioned hanging out with your family. How do they know about your success? How have they reacted to that?
Yeah, I mean, they're super hyped up about it. I've been on this journey for over a decade now making games, and so they've got to watch the growth and how everything's played out. And yeah, so my dad sort of follows it, and he'll text me when we hit a milestone. Yeah, they're super excited about it. And my girlfriend's like the game's biggest fan, so she's always like super excited. And she just messaged me. We actually just hit 10 billion total visits, so she messaged me and congratulated me on that. So that was like quite an exciting milestone. And even her parents are like, her dad is tracking the stats on the game and everything, and he's like, so everyone is sort of like, everyone around us is just so excited, because this is like a massive like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I mean, it's got a big presence internationally. Like, this is a huge game. Like, one of the biggest games in the world, truly. So, yeah, everyone's just very excited, and everyone's just waiting to see how it all plays out.
That's honestly very nice to have, supportive family members, because also, you said your dad was texting you about milestones. Dude, my parents read my comments more than I do. And
they tell them not to read the comments, Dan. They got to stay out of the comments.
And they love reading my comments, and they love sharing random comments on the family group chat, like, oh, this person said this nice thing, or oh my god, it's hitting the 100,000, 200,000 views.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Do they like watch your videos? Do they understand what's going on?
Okay. This is actually kind of funny, but I think the reason why, because again, watch a lot of YouTube. There are some YouTubers who I know personally who I feel like their content could be just a little better in terms of like accessibility to like, maybe pacing, maybe stuff like that, like the way they present information. The funny part for me is whenever I make videos, subconsciously I think, oh my god, my parents are gonna watch this. And so that kind of translates into me basically trying to make it so that like the information is very clearly presented. Very clear. Okay. Yeah, it kind of helps. It kind of helps low key, because I don't know. Again, some other content creator friends I have, I feel like they don't have this because like they kind of present their information for a very specific group of people. But for me, it's definitely helped. And yeah, with that golden age video especially, just like to make the video accessible. And you were also like talking about this earlier, to like make your game accessible, making accessible content or an accessible piece of media is very important, I feel like, and a lot of people overlook that. And so it's like, but because my parents watch every video of mine, they know, like, I've had to basically, they know so much about Roblox, and they've never even touched it. They know Blocktails, they know Doors, they know all the games because I've told them about it. And so that kind of also applies in my videos. Whenever I make like a video about something, I feel the need to kind of explain it a little thoroughly. It's not for my parents. I'm not making my videos for my parents, but like subconsciously, I have this idea of like, you know, people, whatever age you have, if you're watching this, you need to at least understand something.
Yeah,
so
it's
that
so
kind
cool.
of.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, they just love sending screenshots of comments that I get. I read through my comments like pretty often, especially after I post a new video, but past a specific point, I don't really do that anymore. But they just be reading all the time.
Yeah,
new comments and shit.
Actually, now that you mention it, my parents they've done the same thing. They like looking at what the sort of community engagement is on things, and my dad will like hit me with he'll be like, "Have you fixed this bug yet?" or something, and I'll be like, "How do you know about that?" And it's because he's read some comment where someone's complaining about it. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool that they're like, it's cool that your parents are like, you know, supporting your journey as well. And like,
absolutely.
And that they're interested, and because they don't know, you know, even despite your clarity, like they have no idea what you're talking about probably for a lot of the stuff. But the fact that they're willing to like try to understand it is like very cool, because Roblox is it's a weird world.
Right, because it's kind of a weird world in the sense that like, you know, anybody can play Roblox. That's kind of the magic about it as well. Is that's what makes it interesting, because okay, you have games for kids, you have games for teens and for adults. But like, okay, when I say games for adults, like I mean that games that are accessible for just about every type of audience, which is very cool about Roblox. And you know, the thing is, it's been part of my childhood, and I've always loved it growing up. But past a specific point, it kind of fell off for me, especially like, well, no, during the pandemic, I definitely played it a lot more. Anyway, there was a part where in my life it kind of fell off for me, but then I returned to it recently, like about, let's say, a year or two ago, and started playing it more thoroughly again. And then I realized, whoa, Roblox is really cool. I play Roblox more than other games, because I used to play a lot of Steam games, a lot of other games, but now it's like 90% just Roblox.
100%, yeah. Like, yeah, there is something for everyone on Roblox, and you know, even for people who might, you know, prefer like a traditional, like a Steam indie game vibe, like something a bit more aged up. There are games like Pressure and like Doors, and what are some other ones like Project Remix and all those, you know, these like really cool more niche games that like you know, appeal to that audience, you know, and the fact that, you know, a player who otherwise would probably be, you know, on Steam playing whatever the latest indie game is, the fact that they have games on Roblox that they can enjoy is like so cool. I think it's like unreal.
Okay, and now my final question for you is pretty simple, and that is, are you proud of yourself and the games you've made? Genuinely.
Oh, dude, let me say, this is when the ego is going to come out. I'm like so proud, man. Like I'm like so unbelievably happy, and I'm gonna say what I said before, but the goal for me is I want to make a game that can, you know, has universal appeal, that brothers can play with their sisters, that a father can play with their child, that, you know, anyone can, that my girlfriend can play, you know, that's important to me, that me and my friends can play. Like we're gamers, and I enjoy playing with my group of friends, you know, like, and this game has accomplished that to a degree that I didn't think was possible. Like, and so that is why I'm so proud of what we've accomplished here. I'm so proud of the team. I'm so proud of like how hard we've been working. Yeah, it's just, yeah, we made this, you know, you know, this was it's an original game. It's creative. This is a decade of game design on Roblox, the culmination of it all. And it's the amount of like messages that I get, like positive feedback, even like the people who like sort of just hate anything that's popular. There's currently a thing going on Twitter where they're saying like, yeah, out of all the top games, all of them suck, but like at least 99 Nights is like, it's pretty fun, you know. Even they're willing to concede. They're like, yeah, we find it pretty fun. And then like, And that means a lot to me, even hearing them say that. Like, and those guys are hard to please. You know? So the fact that like so many people just like have had such a great time on the game, I cannot be like more proud. I'm so happy.
That is so great to hear. Thank you so much for accepting to do this, for accepting this interview, for coming on here.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Do you have any final words to people who might be watching this?
Yeah, this has been a fun experience. Like, it's not often I get to talk about, you know, like Roblox, the platform, the culture, making games. Like, this has been like, yeah, a lot of fun. I don't know who's made it this far, or if any of this will even be included in the final cut. But yeah, if I had to like say anything, any sort of parting words, it would just be that I hope that this conversation has sort of helped you to what's the word, humanize the Cracky4 like avatar, or whoever the developer that you support might be. You know, a lot of the people are just kids making these games. They're people, you know, that are 17 or whatever age, you know, like, and they're figuring things out, and a lot of them don't know what they're doing yet, and they don't have all the answers, and maybe they don't have the greatest work ethic. But, you know, behind all of these games are just like, it's just people figuring it out as they go, and you know, they have lives, they have other things going on, and I don't know, I think it's important to jump in every now and then and have these like chats about game design and things, and just like remind everyone that, you know, we're just like, we're working it out, you know, we're trying our best, we have a lot going on, we have just like busy lives, but you know, we're going to try make the best updates and the best game that we can, and hopefully the game doesn't die in 3 months. You know, that's the goal. Hopefully we're not just like consumed by brain rot. We're holding off the brain rot as best as we can, but we can't do it for much longer. Someone else has got to come help us out. But
you'll manage, I think. Well, again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, but thanks very much for having me.
Yeah,
it's been great. This has been a lot of fun.